Hi everybody, it's Katie
And Dusty.
and Maverick. This is gonna go well.
That was scripted.
We're here to answer some of your questions that you asked on Instagram. So here we go. First question from Laura Buller.
Even though this pregnancy was a scary journey, do you think you want more kids? And would you be scared as to what might happen with another? Absolutely, we want more kids.
100%.
This is just one of those things that can happen. There's a long list of things that can happen with any pregnancy. And so you kind of hold your breath and hope and pray. And this was tough, and it beat us down along the way, and it was just a long journey we weren't expecting to take, but nothing's changed other than we get to be, I think, even more thankful for how it ended up than people who didn't get to go through it.
Definitely. It's scary, of course. When we have our next one, I think we'll probably be on edge a little bit, but that's not going to stop us from wanting more at all.
We'll pack a hospital bag a little bit earlier next time.
For sure. All right, next question is from Logan Stuthers.
What were some of the most helpful or thoughtful things friends and family did to help support you while Matt was in the hospital or during his first few days home? We'd love to know the best way to help when others are going through the same thing. That's a long list. As far as when we first were in the hospital, we had a bunch of friends and family obviously show up there at the hospital, but something that was important is we had a lot of friends and family that gave us the space that we needed, that sent texts or phone calls to let us know that they would be there if we needed them for anything, but that they were going to stay away until they asked us, because they knew that it was a delicate situation and there was enough stress without throwing a bunch of people at us, which I thought was really respectful, and I don't know that I would have handled it that way. The shoe was on the other foot. One of the cool things, and there's a long list, that our church here, Lamar Avenue Church of Christ, did was when we got home, I thought it was going to be not business as usual, but I guess I was a little bit naive about several things, and they set us up to where several times a week we were brought dinner from different people in our life group, and I got to tell you, that was just fantastic, and I appreciated it a whole bunch, but I appreciated it even more when at the end of that first week we had one night that they didn't bring dinner, so I got excited that I got to cook again, and I think I was finished cleaning the dishes at about 9:30 at night. It was pretty clear at that point that what they were doing was so helpful, but there was tons of other stuff too.
I know that we had some people send us stuff. We stayed at Ronald McDonald House for about a month whenever Maverick was in the NICU.
Put your change in that tray in the drive-thru. That place is awesome.
And whenever you go through McDonald's and they ask if you want to donate to Ronald McDonald, say yes, please.
Do it.
Because that helps people like us. We stayed at Ronald McDonald, and we had some people send us stuff or pay for our stay there for a week.
And there's not nearly enough time for us to list all the ways that people helped, especially with our jobs. At her job, they bent over backwards from the top to the bottom of that company. My job, it's my first year to be with the school that I teach at, and my colleagues, they worked double time. They did everything twice what's asked in their job description, and they did it for us, and so we've been really thankful.
Next question is from Amanda A. Nicole 16. What is the best relationship advice you could give to young adults?
Talk.
Communicate.
Communicate. That's the biggest thing I've stressed, probably annoyingly, since we first started dating. It's just so important. It's been big from the beginning, even little things. They say don't go to bed angry. It's so much bigger than that, but that's still really good advice. You can't dwell on stuff. The best thing you can do is talk about it. Don't bury it. I know we've been very thankful for the premarital counseling that we did A lot of people don't think that's necessary, but it was just, I mean, still to this day we come across things that we discussed and had already decided and planned out during that time in premarital counseling, and the decision's already been made. The path was already chosen to an extent. So we're really, really big on communication.
I would say that's probably the best advice we could give, is to communicate. Don't yell, but talk. Next comment comes from Trainer Abigail.
My questions: your favorite Bible verse and or how you guys met. My favorite Bible verse has been for many years Hebrews 12:2, and the gist of it is just fix your eyes on Jesus. There's fancier words that go along with it, and I don't want to say the whole verse or anything like that. That's the basis of what I think it takes to have a happy, healthy life and a good relationship with your wife, with your spouse, your kids, everybody in your life. Fix your eyes on Jesus. Everything starts and ends there.
My favorite Bible verse is Jeremiah 29:11. I like that Bible verse because it has carried me through several difficult times. For I know the plans that I have for you is what has really taken me through. I know that God has got me. He's got His plan for me, and and it's a more beautiful plan than I could ever imagine. That carried me through some very difficult times before Dusty and I even met, and it definitely carried me through this really difficult time whenever Maverick was in the NICU.
We met a long time ago at a church camp called Camp Deer Run. We have very, very close and dear ties to this camp, and we will for the rest of our lives. God willing, when Maverick is old enough to get out there in the piney woods of East Texas and Winsboro, he can go and have a Sadie Hawkins day just like we did, and go and let his girl that caught him dunk him in Killy Creek. And he has a much deeper and cooler story than anybody else out there, I think, because Killy Creek is where I put my knee in the ground and asked her to marry me.
And I cried and said yes.
That's always been a very special place to us, not just because we found each other out there. That's not where my faith began, but my faith grew so much in my time at Camp Deer Run, as a camper and a counselor.
Next question is from Danny Brinkley. How did you help each other out? How did you stay positive and still have good thoughts and still be kind to one another? I think that's just through prayer and patience, I would say.
Yeah. I don't know. We were put in a situation where, yeah, we had family and friends around, but in all actuality, it was me, Katie, and God. Our only choice was to work together. If we weren't there for each other, it just wasn't going to work. You know, people have commented on the strength of our faith through this, and yeah, I've always considered myself a man of faith, but I think that it's important that you guys know that it was made very easy to me to be faithful in this scenario, because every other option was taken away. It was trust God or ... So it's not that I was, or we were strong in faith, it's we didn't have an option. Faith was the only thing we had, and thank God we had it.
Whenever I was falling apart, Dusty was strong for me. And I feel like on the rare occasion that Dusty fell apart, I tried my best to be strong for him. And sometimes we just fell apart together, and just being together in that and in prayer together, that's really kind of how we got through it. Next question from Hansla 1000.
Health update on Mav. Expectations and realistic future. Hope all is well. Expectations and realistic future. First, he's going to be a doctor. And then he's going to be the President of the United States and fix all of our problems. Actually, I would never wish that upon him. Our expectations are he's just going to keep getting greater. Our baby boy is so awesome. The pediatrician, we had his first appointment a few weeks ago, and she made it very clear, you're going to want to blame everything that you come across on the NICU. She said, let me be clear. Your boy is a regular newborn now. And hearing those words just it was a weight off of our shoulders.
It really was. She said, "You're done with the NICU, and this is just a regular boy now." That was wonderful to hear.
And now our regular boy is getting fat, which is exactly what we prayed for.
Yes.
He is putting on the pounds, he is throwing back the milk, and every day he smirks a little bit more and smiles a little bit more and shows a little bit more of his personality. And I get to see bits and pieces of his mommy in him and a whole lot of me in him too, that's for sure too. He's awesome. He is a constant reminder that our God takes care of us.
Next question is from Katie Lee. Do either of you play an instrument or used to play one? I used to play the flute in band in high school. I mean in junior high, not high school.
I play the xylophone. I play guitar and a little bit of a lot of different string instruments, but mostly acoustic and electric guitar.
Next question from Leslie McKenzie.
Would you like to start vlogging more in the future? You're going to have to talk to this one about that. I really enjoy the videos that have been made so far and the love and support that's come from this avenue. But I am completely at a loss if you ask me about the vlogging community. I don't know much about it, but the boss does.
Well, I don't really know what this whole YouTube channel is yet. I don't know if we want to make it just for Mav or if we want to do a family vlog, or if we want to keep doing it at all. It does take a lot of time for me. I'm not fast about the video editing, and I don't have a ton of time between working full-time and momming full-time. So, I don't know the answer to that question. I would love to be able to do this, to vlog full-time. That would be really cool. That's just not in the cards for us at the moment. But if you guys keep watching, we'll keep making videos. Next question from T Butter W. That's a fun name. What's one thing when you were in the NICU that the nurses could have done better? Our nurses were awesome. We maybe had one nurse that we didn't like, and the only thing that they could have done better was probably be a little more gentle with Maverick. I felt like maybe they were a little rough handling him and everything, but I mean, that was one nurse. I think all the nurses were fantastic.
And new mommies and daddies are a little bit picky.
Sure.
When it comes to the way their babies are handled. Our nurses at Medical City Dallas were fantastic. Every single one of them was great. The only bump we hit was we were selfish. We wanted the same nurses every single time because we loved them so much. And so a couple of times we tried to get them scheduled more. But the thing is, we have to understand that that's out of their hands. There's so many babies coming through there. That part was frustrating, but what a small frustration compared to all the positive experiences we had when we were there. They were awesome.
I would say the thing that they did that we liked was communicate with us and tell us what's going on with our baby and why, and what we should expect tomorrow and the next day and the next week and the next month. I think them communicating with us and letting us help, letting us get hands-on, changing diapers, taking temperatures, feeding, things like that. That meant a lot. All right, last question from Vivian Marie 10. How long have you and your husband been together?
Forever. Look at me. I just work here.
We've been married since September of 2014. So there you go. That's the answer.
Our plan was to have our first child around 2 years after we were married. We got pretty close.
Yeah. All right. That's it for our Q&A.
If you can't see, Maverick is saying away with you.
He says his little hand saying bye. Let's get a close up.
That's the more polite version.
All right, say bye everybody. I'm big, I'm strong, and I'm home. Bye.
Leave me alone.
No more pictures.
I can't really play the xylophone.
Can you really?
Yeah, it's not that hard.